Gayle, I am so excited that you are here chatting with me about your story. You are on day 2 of your new gig. So I know
Yeah.
that you're very busy and somehow you carved out 30 minutes at the end of the day for me. So I really appreciate it. So
Okay.
first, I want to dig into a little bit about you. What prompted you to even consider this program? Like what was your drive of why?
We had been through what, about 9 months worth of COVID, and I wasn't working.
Yeah.
And so I was looking for something that would, keep me engaged, something that would challenge me.
Mhm.
And I've always been interested in data science and analytics, and I wanted to learn what it was about. And it was a good long program, and it seemed like something I could easily do. The time commitment wasn't huge, but it was enough to that I would, really have to try to use all my brain cells.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would say it's true. Flexibility is key to be able to, do whatever your commitments are, 9 to 5, but then still have, time at night for yourself.
Right.
What was your background prior to taking this course?
So prior to taking this course, I had previously attended Southern New Hampshire University for undergrad, and I had received my MBA from Northeastern University.
Mhm.
I had been working in biotech for almost 30 years.
Wow. So impressive. You are a
Yeah.
biotech junkie.
Yes, officially.
I'm gonna change topics on you, a little
Okay.
dramatic of a change. It's gonna be more about you. What do you think people find unexpected and delightful about you?
So I was out recently with getting to know someone, and the question came up, or what genre of music do you like? And I had to pause because most people are never going to guess this, but it's metal, heavy metal.
I love that. I love it, Gail. I love that you, who's been in biotech and in some form of data for 30 years, you love like heavy metal.
Heavy metal. Yep.
I bet that kind of quirk and personality brings itself to the professional environment
Oh, yeah.
and makes you pretty fun to be working with.
Sometimes, yes. It depends on how deep it is, you know?
Yeah. Okay, another question.
Mhm.
Now, I know that we've talked about this quite a bit. You've been a single mother for quite a bit, right?
A long time, yeah.
A long time. And I keep thinking about like how hard that is, right? To be a single parent and a professional, right? And
Yep.
then the pandemic hits and and that's an even harder burden.
Yeah.
It was hard for all parents, but especially for single parents. What do you tell single parents out there?
It's something you're doing for yourself
Mm,
that might make the future better for the entire family
yeah.
in a certain way, but it's also something you do for yourself. Um,
Yeah.
I'm lucky my kids are older, so very self-sufficient, but when they were younger, um, the best part about when they were younger is they would be in bed at 6:30 or 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I still had time to do other things, but, there's definitely a trade-off there if you're trying to take a class and your kids are, you know, at that age,
Yeah.
where they're not quite in bed at 7 o'clock, and they're not quite self-sufficient, although if you sat them in front of SpongeBob or whatever the current favorite TV show is, they might be okay, but it's really a tough balancing act.
Well, it's good advice though. It's that, like you said, you acknowledge it. It's a really hard balancing act.
It is.
But that you have to do something for yourself.
Even if you have to lock yourself in the bathroom to take the class, it's
You do what you have
There
to
is
do.
some space in your house, maybe a closet, maybe the cellar, but there is a way to kind of like hide away and get to it. And the other thing about these classes is they were all recorded too. So, but the classes were recorded, so you could, if you missed a class or you had to miss a part of the class, you could always just go back and
Come
rewatch
back
it,
to it.
which I did again and again and again.
No, that's good. It's good to know that you have that you have
Yeah,
that ability to go back if needed.
yeah.
Okay. I have another question for you. What would you tell your younger self?
What did I tell? There's a lot of things I want to tell my younger self. So
Just start naming it out loud and see, you're like small and large.
I think is always keep an open mind.
Mm.
When you're young, you kind of look at things with tunnel vision. It's all about you and how things relate to you. But it really is, even when you're younger, and I know it's tough, if you could just look beyond just is it really about you? Is there something else to consider? Um, don't hit your sister. Um,
I like it. I like it. These are good.
really be nice to your parents.
Aw.
All those kind of things. And just,
Yeah.
you know, keep keep your mind open. If you think you're committed to something and you're under the age of 60, or 70 or 80, whatever, if you're still alive and breathing, you can always try and do something else.
Woo! I love that. I so love that. It doesn't matter 60, 70, 80. As long as you're breathing, there is
Yeah.
always time to
Yeah.
learn and to try to do something else. That's so
Yeah.
wonderful. That's so wonderful. Okay. Last question
Mhm.
is, what advice would you give to someone who is navigating an inflection point or about to or considering navigating an inflection point, a professional inflection point? What advice would you give?
You can always start over.
Mm,
You can.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if that inflection point is they've just decided this isn't for me anymore. I want to do something different. Um, you can start a new path, a new career. It might have you know, some of the sparkle from your old one, but you can always try something new. You can always stop yourself and do something that forces you to move in a different direction. Sometimes it's hard to motivate yourself to do that. So when it's thrust upon you and you don't have a choice, it's almost better because you have to move. You have to do something to move forward.
I love that you framed that, Gail, and this is so you as well, to frame it as a gift. You know, when change is forced upon you, instead of fighting it, you see it as a gift that tells you, "Oh, okay, it's time to do something different."
Reevaluate,
Yeah.
take those lemons and make lemonade.
That's so important. That's right, because not everyone is like that. Not everyone when
No,
change
it's
is.
really hard. I know
Yeah.
that sometimes, I haven't been too stuck in my life. I mean, I've been very, very fortunate.
Mhm.
But there have been situations, and I'm not gonna actually go into detail, but it was like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Time to make a big change. And it's scary, and you don't know what the next day is gonna bring or the next month, but you just do it because life is good. And sometimes you hit a rough patch, but when you get to the other side, life is good and you just do it. I think
Yeah.
that's a Nike slogan, isn't it?
You might
See
have,
the change, see the
yeah,
change.
yeah. I couldn't have ended it any better, to just have the courage to know that you could always start over.
You can
Um,
always start over. There's
mhm,
always something out there for you.
yeah.
And you don't have to know what it is, but you have to keep plugging away and find it.
Thank you for ending our conversation with such hope. And I know that there are others that are going to be watching this and knowing that, um, taking motivation, inspiration from your journey and you navigating successfully your inflection point and knowing that when they have their own inflection point, whether it's chosen or thrust upon them, they too will be able to do the same. So thank you.
Yes. Thanks.